There are several criteria that enterprises should consider when they select data masking technologies and vendors. Two criteria are most important. This is application integrity and database integrity. Application integrity means that enterprises must guarantee that application that runs against masked data performs as if data was real. What's happened with data masking? You're hiding sensitive data from developers and testers, but in no way should you inhibit developers' capability to adequately test application. This is called application integrity, and it's a must. Another most critical criterion is database integrity. Well, you'll be masking, you'll be changing data fields in a database. You'll be changing different fields, including keys. But masked data must not crash data sources. Integrity must be maintained within each database and across all databases, across entire enterprise. And all dependencies must be maintained in the masked database the very same way they are maintained in the original database. These two criteria must be met by vendors: application integrity and database integrity. Another most important criterion is data relationship discovery. Let me be clear here. Data masking technique is pretty simple. It's enough for you just to change several characters in a data field with similar looking characters, and you mask data. This is really simple. What is complex is to find multiple instances of the same data across multiple databases across your entire enterprise. So that data relationship discovery should be a critical feature you should be asking vendors for. The same data must be present in the multiple tables, in the multiple records of the same database, as well in other databases across the enterprise. So data relationship discovery mechanism is a must. Masking should be applied to all instances of the data in all tables and in databases. You cannot fail and leave some data in the original form. If you do that, then you would violate security and compliance requirements. So a discovery mechanism should be an integral part of data masking technologies, and you should be asking vendors for data relationship discovery mechanism. Another critical criterion is enterprise rule definition. There are two approaches to data masking. One approach is when you install and apply data masking technology to one particular database, let's say to Oracle, then install and apply it to another database, let's say to SQL Server, and then install it and apply once again, let's say to vSAM file on mainframe. But then you have to be figuring out whether you did this data masking consistently across all databases. And this is a time-consuming and error-prone process. The optimal, the recommended approach is to have a central dashboard, a central rule engine that would allow you to centrally define data masking rule in one single place and then propagate them and apply it across all databases, across entire enterprise, to all instances of the same data. So you should be seeking technologies that allow the definition of data masking rules in one quote-unquote central dashboard, with then following enterprise-wide application of those rules. And you should be asking vendors for providing that enterprise-wide rule definition engine. And one more highly important criterion. This is breadth of covered databases and breadth of covered operating system. For a typical enterprise, it's normal to have a variety of databases and operating systems. DB2, Oracle, Sybase, SQL Server, vSAM files on mainframe, more and more databases such as MySQL that run on Microsoft Windows operating systems, on Linux, on IBM mainframe. It is highly recommended for such enterprise clients to consider vendors providing variety of coverage, the broad spectrum of databases and operating system where they can use, run, apply data masking. This is a very important criterion, but at the same time, I should mention that because of its importance, it's becoming a commodity. It means that many, if not most vendors today started offering a broad spectrum of covered databases and operating system. But in any case, you have to make sure that you're asking a vendor that it can cover all databases that exist in your enterprise and all operating system that you have in your enterprise. There is another criterion that I would like to mention. Often it comes handy. It's called repeatability. What is repeatability? Well, let's say you have a high sensitive last name Smith, and when you do data masking first time, you transform it, you mask it as ABCD. When you do masking next time, you mask it again ABCD, and you do it again and again and again. This is called repeatability. Why it's important? Because it helps during repeated testing, such as regression testing, and is requested very often by testers who get used to quote-unquote look and feel of the first-time masked data. And moreover, it's important when developers and testers have created tests that work with just first-time masked data. It's not the most critical criterion, but it often comes up handy. So we'd recommend you to ask a vendor if it has that repeatability feature in its portfolio of overall data masking features. So let me summarize. There are several criteria that you should be asking vendor when you are looking for data masking technology. These criteria are as following: application integrity, database integrity, enterprise-wide rule definition, central dashboard, and breadth of covered operating systems and databases.